showed up. A little perspective here. Wow. That is unbelievably bright out here. Holy shit. How beautiful is that? I'm gonna back out so you can see what's going on. One of them disappeared. I shouldn't have moved. One of them disappeared. Right. Oh. Wow, it's getting really bright. Wow. Oh man, it's dimming down. It's like powering down, phasing out. It's gone. I can't see it anymore. It's like, wow. Another one just showed up. Come on. That's pretty good right there, huh? Oh my God, there's two. Oh my God, there's two of them. Wow, I mean, just get an idea how bright this thing is. Let me zoom. Haha. Wow, how about
Leave it up high. High. No pressure. How do you figure that is?
Pretty high.
Still going up?
No, I had to give the battery a break. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I don't know if anybody can make this out, but I definitely see something in the sky. You saw a plane pass by, and then there was just one more faint dot that I don't see anymore. Now this thing is just like hovering over there, and the other dot kind of like disappeared. So I don't know what the hell this is. That's the dot, and I'm going to zoom out just so you see what's going on. I'm going to zoom back in. There's something out there. And today was the day when we felt the earthquake in New York City. Something there.
As I sit in this boat, but I'm so cold, my boat will free.
Me llama la atención aquello en el cielo. Ahí estoy sobre la carretera y voy a hacer la aproximación. ¿Qué será? No tengo idea. Voy a bajar. Como que cayera. La aproximo.
This week on Conundrums, we're in Mexico to talk to one of Mexico's most respected UFO researchers. Jaime Maussan is next on Conundrums. In 1991, Mexico City was inundated with UFO sightings. Jaime Maussan was one of the few broadcasters who took the subject seriously and reported on all of the sightings throughout Mexico. Jaime Maussan is our guest this week on Conundrums.
This was July 1991. We had a total solar eclipse. and the people went out to record the eclipse. But instead of that, they recorded UFOs. There were so many videos that I thought that was important to present them in the television. And from then on, I kept receiving videos almost every day. And at the beginning were hundreds. I don't want to exaggerate, but I received so many videos, so many stories. Then somehow, at that moment I was a journalist for 60 Minutes in Mexico. I was the anchor of that show. But people wanted me to investigate this. And then I received many invitations from universities, from institutions that wanted me to talk about and to present the results of the investigation. And soon I was identified with this phenomenon and I was trapped by it. Then somehow my investigations, my journalistic investigations diminished, but the UFO investigations increased.
So have you now like made a business out of this, out of doing only programs?
I don't consider it a business. Yes, it is a business because there is no other way to survive.
Right.
Any investigator that doesn't have the meaning and the ways to survive, to receive the money, presenting this work, won't be able to do it for a long time.
Right.
Then you have to find the ways to make money, and there are not so many who have done this in this area. You know, that's very unfortunate because I've seen many good investigators disappear, or they need to do something else because they cannot live from this, and many are completely broken because they decided to get related to this phenomenon. Then through my conferences, now through my television show, yes, I've been able not to make huge quantities of money as some people presume, but to make enough money to survive.
Right. Of these videos that you've received, is there any one particular one that you find the most amazing or the most fascinating?
There are many.
There are many.
At this time, I cannot say this one is the most important one.
Right.
There are many important videos like those recorded by Antonio Ursi in Milan, in Italy. They are so clear, so close. The ones recorded by Yalcin Yalman in Kumburgaz in Turkey, that's also amazing because you can see the creatures outside the crowd. There are many important videos, and there are many important cases too.
So you're receiving videos not only from Mexico, but all over the world now?
All over the world, yes.
And
from China, from Italy, yes.
Is your program seen worldwide, or is it seen just within Mexico?
Well, it's seen in Mexico, but through internet we present, and we have a section with subtitles in English, and then people can follow me in the United States too.
All righty.
I have also a television show in the U.S. and a very small network, LATV, which is national in the U.S., and we've been very, very successful there because we have kept the number one in the ratings for 1 year. And that's also very important for us.
And recently, though, you've done a lot of research into the creature of Metepec.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, yeah, back in June, the end of June 2007, I received in my offices, not these ones because these are newer, I received some people who wanted me they wanted me to present this creature who was dead. I thought it was a monkey. I didn't put too much attention, but I asked one of my reporters to start the investigation. As we were doing this, the owner of this ranch, the man who brought the creature to me, was murdered. Then I decided to stop the investigation because I didn't know what was happening, and I presented this until probably January or February 2008. But somehow attract the attention of the Japanese, and a Japanese crew came to Mexico in December 2008. And that's when I really started the investigation, because I learned that that there were some pictures of the creature alive. And when I saw that, it's when I really understood that this was not a monkey, this was something else, this was something unknown, and I decided to start a full investigation, and that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half.
Yeah, because I've seen the photos too, and the hands look very human. The feet look very human.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the scientists don't want to accept this. And they don't want to accept that the photographs were taken with the creature alive. We have at least 4 people who saw this creature alive who have declared this to the cameras, to the television. And even though I had investigators from Europe, from a university in Europe, they are still saying that this is probably a monkey or something that can be explainable.
Well, now, Japanese television, their crew, didn't they do a DNA on it and said that they thought it was human?
I've done at least 6 analyses in DNA.
The History Channel did one also.
And the Japanese haven't done this. The ones who did it were the people from History Channel, and
Yes.
they did it in Canada, and they couldn't find anything. And I haven't found anything in any DNA, and it's not explainable because when you look at the cells, you can see a nucleus inside the cell.
Right.
And if there is a nucleus, there is DNA.
Exactly.
Then it's not the explanation that they give that this is degraded, that they... No, it's not for real. Probably they haven't done the analysis the way it should have been done because they haven't considered this to be a creature.
Right.
Probably that is from somewhere else, you know. But there are enough analyses, and I can tell you that in just one of them, we found that the creature was human. And this is something that this university in Europe found, and that is why the scientists came from Europe in January 2010. And so far, they haven't finished their investigation. I think they are afraid. At this moment, I can tell you they are afraid of their own findings.
Why would that be? Why would they?
Oh, because they have to declare that this is unexplainable.
Right.
And when they say that, everybody's going to be against them, and now they have to defend themselves, and then they prefer just to avoid that and say, oh, this should be a monkey, this should be but they don't prove it.
Exactly.
And at this moment, anybody who wants to talk about this creature has to demonstrate, because we have, we have contact no less than 10, 15 scientists of different specialties to really try to get the truth out of this case. And we have enough evidence that proves that this creature is absolutely unexplainable. There is going to be one day that the world is going to really learn about this incredible case.
Exactly. What do you personally think it is? Do you think it's extraterrestrial?
I don't think it's an extraterrestrial that came in a craft or was driving a machine or something.
It's very small. I mean, it's a very small thing.
It looks more like an animal, but at the same time, an animal that is not from this world.
Exactly.
Then I cannot tell you where it came from. What, as a parallel universe, a hole, as a dimensional hole. Many people claim that there are things like, for example, the so-called chupacabras that came from a different dimension. Things like that. I don't know. I cannot tell you what it is, you know.
It's a mystery. It's a conundrum.
It's absolutely a mystery. But I think it's a mystery that should attract the attention of the science, the scientists, because this is very exciting.
So if scientists wanted to take a look at it, you'd be open to let them?
Absolutely. I am asking them to come.
Yes.
We found that, for example, the inner ear is very sophisticated, nothing related to a primate, you know, nothing like that. And there are enough, the cells reveal that this creature couldn't stand oxygen or water. Then where it came from? If it cannot stand oxygen or cannot stand water, has to be from a different dimension or something like that.
Yes.
It's enough to really attract someone who has the courage really to investigate.
And how was it caught? How did they
with a trap,
get it?
a rat trap?
Mousetrap?
Yeah, that's the way they did it. It's small, and they kept it in that for a year and a half until I obtained that. We have to pay money for this. A friend of mine, John Rao, and myself invested in this, and we are the owners now of this creature. But it took us a while really to start the investigation.
In that area, have there ever been sightings of others like it?
Yeah, at least 2 others. One of them was found dead without head. This was kept with this body creature, but the other disappeared. Nobody knows why, but I think one of the employees there stole it because he probably thought that was a very valuable thing, you know. And,
Right.
and there was another sighting of a bigger creature, probably 60, 70 centimeters. That's, I don't know, 20 inches or so. And it was not trap, but it was very impressive for the people who saw it. And it was just around the same time when this was captured.
Well, these creatures don't have hair like a monkey, so they have skin. What was the skin like? Was it like human or?
No, it looks like like a sea mammal, like dolphins with some kind of lubrication or something like that.
Yeah,
It's,
interesting creature.
Very interesting, very interesting.
Very fascinating.
It's a fascinating case.
As far as Mexico, getting back to UFOs, as far as Mexico, is Mexico more open to release UFO information?
I don't think that, but I think Mexico South is not blocking information either. I mean, they gave me a video. The military gave me a video. I think I know why, because I gave them incredible information of a very secret case in 1959. Mexico helped NASA and the CIA to steal the secrets from the Russians to go to space. And I gave the president all this information, and that's why I think I received this incredible video.
Now this is
Nobody knows about this, but
Yeah.
it's true.
Now this is the lights. There were lights. That
The
were seen.
lights were.
This was
videotaped.
night vision. It was night vision.
It was night vision, but was in daytime. This is the FLIR camera,
Yes.
which is used to track narcotics or airplanes with narcotics from the south. And that's the way they found this. But they couldn't see with their own eyes. And there are many other examples now of infrared cameras that have been able to obtain images of things that people don't see.
Exactly.
We are going to present a special program about these invisible UFOs, where we're going to prove that many times you don't see them with your eyes. You need a special camera to see them.
You've done a lot of work with NASA footage of looking at
yeah.
UFOs and
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, when there is a mission, we record hundreds or thousands of hours of these missions. The whole mission complete. Then we review the video, and we have been able to find incredible images. I don't understand why the American media is not doing this. I don't understand why almost nobody else is doing this. But we do it in every mission, and we have told everyone to do this because they would obtain exactly the same images. Yes, you have to work a lot because you have to be there to record every single hour, and then you have to review every single hour, every single minute, or every single second. But then you are going to have incredible material that proves that in the space they are following us, they are chasing us, they are making warnings, giving warning to us, and I think that's very interesting, especially when you can demonstrate that and the video is official. Then nobody's going to be able to tell you that this is a fake or something like that.
Why do you think the United States media will not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
As a broadcaster, you have no idea.
No, they
maybe.
should be doing
They
this.
should be. Yes.
They should be doing this. It doesn't cost them anything. I mean, if you are ABC, CBS, NBC, you say, "Oh, record the whole thing," and that's it. And then you review that, and then probably they don't want problems.
Yeah.
You can do that because it's for free and it's public material. It doesn't have rights.
Right.
then they could do it, but probably they don't want problems.
What is your take on the Mayan calendar, the 2012 idea that there could be world-changing events on that date? Do you feel that there will be?
What we know is we know that there is a calendar, and this calendar is 25,625 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it's been divided in 5 different cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of 5,125 years. That's a fact.
Right.
And we know that this last calendar is going to end on 2012, the 21st of December. That's also a fact. And that there is nothing written after that.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, many people think that that's the end of the world. I cannot tell you exactly if the Mayans knew that every 5,000 years there was a catastrophe or something like that. And we don't know that because the oldest Maya that has been found, it is from 1500 BC, which means that the whole Mayan civilization would have lasted probably 3,000 years to 1500 after Christ. Then how could they have calendars of 5,000 years? Or probably is because they come from a different civilization.
Yes.
That's a probability. But then we enter the field of speculation.
Right.
If we speculate, we know that 5,200 years ago there was a big climate change, and we know that because the snow that is melting in the top of the mountains in the Andes in the South America, under that snow you can find plants, green plants, and plants that were from swamps or from almost a tropical kind of weather. Then something happened overnight, and all this snow was concentrated there for 5,000 years. Now it's melting, and now we know that something extraordinary happened around that time. We also know, because we have found enough images that tell us that probably around 10,000 years ago, cities between Mexico and Cuba sunk on the ocean floor. They have found ruins 600 meters below the surface of the sea between Mexico and Cuba. It means that something extraordinary happened probably around 10,000 years ago. That would give you 2 clues that probably would, if we want to speculate, that would tell us that yes, every 5,000 years there is a big change. People think that every 5,000 years we have a polar, magnetic polar switch, and that changes the whole thing. Probably true, and this happened exactly every 5,125 years. We know that the sun is very exact in the cycle of 11 years. Every 11 years we have a maximum solar, a solar maximum, and that happens every 11 years. But then we know that there are cycles which are very exact. If this cycle of the magnetic shift is exact, then we will see something extraordinary in 2012. However, I don't think there is enough evidence for people to be afraid, to be scared. I think most of the possibilities is that nothing is going to happen. But at the same time, what I see is a big change in the mind of the people. I see a change here, more in the inside than in the outside. People are ready for something extraordinary. People are ready for something incredible to happen. And that's what really should interest us, you know?
Do you think we're building up to that now? That
Absolutely.
we're coming closer and closer?
Absolutely. People would say it's the vibration of the planet, probably is the vibration of the mind of the planet, which is us.
Right.
and that mind is vibrating at this moment. And we want something different, and we are ready to accept it, and we are ready to make a sacrifice. And I believe there are other intelligences on Earth. I believe that's, for me, is a fact. For me, it's not a speculation. For me, it's absolutely real.
Right.
For me, these creatures, these beings are trying to communicate with us. They are doing that in England, in the crop circles, and they are doing that in the world with the signs in the sky. If you see how many there are, you wouldn't believe it. All the investigation, all the images, all the evidence we have now to prove that it's not just on the ground, but also in the sky, where we are receiving these signs. And if they are trying to communicate, probably they know exactly that we are building to that change, and they know exactly what it means, the 2012 event, and probably they will use that to present themselves.
Yes.
That's a possibility. But I want to be
Do you
clear,
think?
you know?
Do you think that UFO disclosure would come from a government announcement, or it's going to come from something they do?
No, it's from them.
It will
The
happen.
government, the United States government, is not willing to do that. We know that for sure. And it's not the government, it's not the president, it's the military. There is a force inside the government of the US who doesn't allow these kind of things to happen. You know? They control it from September 24, 1947, when Harry Truman signed this document saying and declaring that the UFO phenomenon was on national security. It has remained that way for so many years, and I don't think that's going to change, not from them.
Yeah. Do you think another country would step forward and release information that they have, sort of trump
That's
the U.S.?
happening.
Yeah.
And Russia is willing to open more and more, and now we know that England did it, and we know that France did it, and now in Argentina there is a promise of the president to release these, and it's happening in Ecuador, it's happening in Peru, it's happening in Brazil, and many other countries. And now the formations of the crop circles are not just in England, in Germany and Italy. Italy has many this year, and some of them really beautiful, and Germany too. And you have some formations in Czechoslovakia, you have in Russia or Switzerland. It means that the phenomenon is growing. This possibility of communication or giving us signs is now better than ever. And for that reason, I think that this momentum is growing, and probably in 2 years we'll be ready, and they will be ready to have a big demonstration.
I was going to ask if you could venture a guess. How long do you think it will be?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Probably 2012, probably 10 more years. It's up to them. There is secrecy, but they are also responsible for this secrecy, because probably they don't want to disturb human beings.
And the extraterrestrials, do you think there's more than one race?
Yes, absolutely.
How many do you think there
I
are?
don't know.
No.
No, but because of the many credible witnesses that we have been able to interview, we know there are different ones, and with besides different interests. I don't think every one of them is connected. I don't think every one of them has communication and knows what the other are doing. But I know that there are universal principles, universal laws, and everyone has to respect that. And that's what is common from all of them. It's the way to behave. It's like humans with the law on Earth, you know. And that's why somehow, for example, they don't present themselves, because probably it's a law. They cannot force their presence in any planet that hasn't accepted this possibility. And since planet Earth still has not accepted that we are being visited, probably they don't have the right to come down.
Have you worked with abductees or interviewed
A little
abductees?
bit, a little bit.
Is there any particular case that stands out?
Well, I just made 2 investigations, one from Stan Romanek in Colorado. Incredible case. I just presented in my television program. And there is another one, Ron Noel, He had an implant, and we struck that implant, and the implant was truly amazing. This implant was transmitting to the outside world. It had a lot of energy and was very, very small, around 3-4 millimeters, which is really small. But they had half of the energy of a big camera that we use for television. And with that, you can compare how much energy this little piece had compared to the big instrument that we were using.
Did they do an analysis on
Absolutely,
it? What did they determine that it was made out of?
We haven't finished that analysis. What we know is that it had nerval tissue, nerves around the object, but the skin grew from the metal, from the object, not from the patient, not from Ron Noel. It grew from the object. How can you do that?
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
that's also a fact. That's physical evidence. When
Right.
you have physical evidence, it's very difficult to debate or refute that.
Exactly. And how did you come to know about this case? Did he come to you?
No, a friend of mine, Roger Lear, who is the leader expert in this field, asked me if I could help financing the surgery of this case, and I did it, and I asked another television station, Telemundo, to pay half of it, and we were able, because it costed us some money. I'm not saying extraordinary, but around $20,000, and that was a lot for a single crew a single program to
Right.
finance just that.
His abduction. Why do you think abductions happen? Why do they put implants in people?
Oh, because they want to know, because they want to follow, because they want to investigate, because they want to experiment, because they need us for some reason to do things, you know.
What do you think those reasons are?
Well, in the case of Romanek, probably hybridization. We now know that probably he has descendants with them. And it's something that now is being investigated, and that's also, it looks like sci-fi, but
Right.
it's an incredible case. And that's a good reason to do it, because also they need also to do that, because they are so old that probably they need some refreshment in the blood. I don't know.
They need some new DNA or something
But
of that
they
nature.
are scientists. They investigate, and they do that to know more. And we are very good subjects, probably.
Right. Let's go back to the Mexico City. I'll call it an invasion, because in 1991 there were multiple UFOs seen here. How did that affect the general public? I mean, was it just astonishing for them, or were they?
It was joy.
It was?
In January 1st, 1993, there was a massive sighting in Mexico, and there were people all around the streets looking to the sky. It was like a party, a big celebration, you know.
Yes.
And I can tell you, we have never been afraid of them. We have a very good attitude here.
Yes.
And I can tell you that even though it's not the same number we had in '91, we still have a lot of sightings in here. Just one very interesting last Sunday. This last Sunday, yeah.
And you're still getting videotapes, still coming in from the public.
All I work is with evidence. I am a journalist. I need hard evidence, and
Right.
I need that. I mean, it's, my line of investigation is I need something to stand on, and I need proof.
Do you feel like you have enough proof now, or you're still looking for more proof?
It's never enough.
Yeah.
It's never enough. You also all the time need more proof and more proof, because not all the people believe in this, and I'm not doing this to make people believe. But I want to be a good investigator, and I want to give them the evidence and let them decide, because in my case, I saw two creatures in 1999 in the Rumorosa Sierra, and for that reason, for me, this is not a mystery anymore.
Okay, tell
I
me
know
about that
this
story.
is-
I want to hear that. About
Well, I
your
was
sighting.
making an investigation. 3 little boys went to the woods, not to the woods, to the mountain, a deserted mountain between Mexicali and Tijuana, which is between Calexico and San Diego. And they lost their way back, and they had to stay in a tree, in the top of a tree. And then they saw UFOs. The UFOs went away, and then creatures came that were luminous, and they stayed there all night. They came after that. They came to me and told me the story, and I was very surprised because they were very young. The story was very consistent, and I decided to go. This was 2 years after that event. The original one happened on the night of the 17th of May, 1997. And I went back there on May 1999. And at that night, on the 27th of May, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:05 as to be exact, they woke me up and told me, "What is that?" Asked me. And then I say, well, I tried to record it, I tried to photograph it, it didn't work. But I saw 2 creatures moving, which were phosphorescent. And the guide who was with us and was from the area was so afraid that he went back to sleep. And he was making jokes about us, and oh, the Martians are coming and they're gonna take you, and things like that, stupid things. And at that moment I said, I want to ask this man to see what he thinks about this. And he was, with his sleeping bag just covering his face.
He was
Next
afraid.
morning I said, what was that? And he said, well, I don't know, that's a revelation of God. And I said, no, that was an animal, probably a deer. No, what a deer. That was a lion, a jaguar or something. No, he said, no. That was something else that was very different.
Were they walking upright? They were.
Yeah, they were moving, and you can see they were small. You can see the eyes were very bright. They were 70 meters away from us, and the field was very rough. Was impossible to walk to
Where they were.
all the rocks. Was very, very dangerous. And I mean dangerous. Then we didn't do that. Besides, you start doing that and they disappear, and then you're in the middle, and then you don't know what to do. But yeah, we saw it.
And you said that you tried to photograph it.
I tried to photograph, I tried to videotape, and nothing worked. And
Nothing
then,
worked.
I mean, it was for me. I'm not claiming, I'm not saying I'm not going public. I'm telling you, I tell whoever asks me, because the experience was real.
Yes.
And if you want to believe that this phenomenon is crazy, if you want to believe that this phenomenon is just for fool people, you have your right to do that. But I tell you something, you're wrong. And I know you are wrong because I experienced that event.
I know that.
And
feeling.
even though I didn't obtain one of the most important evidence of my life, for me was very important because it really helped me to change, not to change, to confirm what I thought.
So do you feel like since you've been involved with the UFO phenomena that it has changed your life? And how has it changed your life?
Well, I see that things in a more universal perspective. I see things more related to the future and to other generations. And I try to help as much as possible to protect the environment. I think you have to really learn to be citizen of a bigger spectrum, of a bigger plan, because I think we are very, very, egocentric. We are, very narrow on our view. And I think we have to change that. And I think this possibility of this meeting with these creatures would be just that. That possibility to really to change the future of human beings. Because the way we are now, in 40, 50 years, I'm not saying nothing is going to be here, but life is going to be terrible, miserable. and that's my grand sons. You know, that's the world, and I do not agree with that.
Right. When you travel the world and give your give talks as a presenter, is there a particular message you're trying to get across to people that
Exactly.
in itself?
That we have to be transcendental, that we have a big opportunity here. I tell people, the biggest crisis is not the economical crisis. The biggest crisis is not the change of weather, the change of climate, the climate change. The biggest crisis is the extinction of the animals, of the ways of life, the different forms of life, because that's forever. We have to stop that as soon as possible. We have to keep this world for better times. And we have to be more self-sufficient, more sustainable. And if we can do that, then we're going to complete our mission. I've seen many, in the last years, many signs in the sky and on the field, and many of them are crosses, like the cross of Christ. And I'm not saying this is religious. I'm saying that is a message, a symbol, that remember us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. If we could do that simple statement, if we could love my neighbor, my friend, the way I love myself,
Exactly.
would be so different. To learn how to give to others, you know. There is this phrase by a Mexican writer that says that when you are dead, people that never heard your name will advance on the rhythm of your thoughts. It doesn't matter that they don't know who you are if you are able to change the life of others.
Right.
And that's what is really important, and that's why I investigate and I put my time in this. Many people think that was a mistake. It was a mistake to dedicate so much time to this. But I think I've been able, and we have been able, because we are a group, to put our little apportation to change the mind of many around the world. And that's what I think is at this moment very, very important.
And tell me about your group. How many people do you have working with you on this?
In this organization, at least 30 people.
And the name of the organization?
It's Tercer Milenio, Third Millennium.
And that's also your website, right?
It's my website. My website is ovnis.tv.
Okay.
That's one of them. And I have another, jaimausan.tv. I have a page for the creature of Metepec. And it's that creatureofmetepec.com, and you can read all the investigation in English with subtitles. And I have also YouTube /Tercer Milenio, where I present my television shows. Many of them are also subtitled, if you want to check them, because I think this is the only show in the world that presents the news around this phenomenon.
Right.
Many shows around the world present events, but we present new events every week. And that's why we are very well informed on what is happening around the world at any single moment.
Thank you. Jaime, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
my guest today.
Thank you, Jay.